Today, I'm going to be showing off some of the best mods that aim to completely overhaul alchemy in Skyrim. This is something I've done before for the more magic related mods out there, so if you like this, then be sure to let me know what other areas you'd like to see next. But with that being said, let's get into the first mod of the video. To kick things off, we need a foundation for the rest of this list, so what better way to do so than complete alchemy and cooking overhaul, or CACO for short. Alchemy in Skyrim has always been complex. Even in the base game, there are so many ingredients, each with 4 different properties that can vary in strength or duration. CACO leans into that depth and balances it. The strongest effects are now rarer and more expensive, while common effects are plentiful. Not only that, but there are a ton of new ingredients, over 100 in fact, all of which aim to be lore friendly. CACO also makes it easier to understand what you're working with. Ingredients still have 4 properties, but now the most powerful one is always listed first. Potions and poisons have been renamed and reorganized to reflect their actual strength, so everything sorts naturally in your inventory and you always know what's worth using. From there, the mod really opens up. You get new tools and mechanics that completely reshape combat and exploration. Alchemical bombs let you deal area damage from a distance, long-lasting weapon coatings lets you prep your blades with a chosen poison before a fight, bandages and other similar items give you a slower, more grounded way to heal, perfect for survival or more immersive playthroughs. And portable alchemy workstations means you can craft potions wherever adventure takes you. Even the world itself gets an upgrade. New insects and fish have been added to lakes, rivers and forests, over 50 new critters in total, giving Skyrim a little more life and giving you far more ways to experiment. And lastly, the perk tree has been expanded and reshaped to support all of this. Some perks have new effects, others have been replaced entirely, and the overall flow is much more rewarding. In the end, this is the alchemy overhaul for me. Apothecary is fantastic in its own right, working perfectly for those of you who just want a smoother vanilla experience, but CACO goes further. It digs into every corner of the system, expands it, and gives alchemy the weight it deserves. Since we're building the ultimate alchemy setup, then this mod is definitely the right choice. To go along with that, we've got a much smaller mod, but one that honestly feels like it should have already existed in Skyrim. Rename Potions does exactly what it says, letting you rename any potion you craft directly from the alchemy menu. It's a simple idea, but one that adds a nice sense of individuality to your creations. All you have to do is press the F key while brewing, the same way you'd rename an enchanted item, and you're free to give it whatever name you like. So now you can easily sort through your own handcrafted potions and know which ones are yours and which are the generic ones you've looted along the way. Everything's neatly integrated into the alchemy menu, no separate UI or extra steps, and it works perfectly with Sky UI, which I know a lot of you will be using. The only time you might run into issues is if you're running another mod that completely overhauls the crafting menu. Again, whilst it's not the craziest addition, I do think it's worth checking out, no matter what type of playthrough you're running. Following on, we have something a little more experimental with a mod called Toxic Toss. This gives you an entirely new way to use your potions and poisons. Just drop a single potion from your inventory and your right hand automatically equips it as a throwable. From there, you can launch it like a spell, watching the bottle shatter on impact and spread its effects to anyone caught in the radius. It's especially fun with poisons, since you can hit entire groups of enemies at once, rather than just coating your weapon. You still have to stay close enough for it to land effectively, and it really changes the flow of fights. Everything is handled through its own system, so it shouldn't conflict with other potion mods, which is great. The one downside is visual upgrades. If you're using vanilla models, you can see the potion in your hand and as you throw it. With mods that change potion visuals, the bottle may be invisible. It still functions correctly, and the potion appears briefly when thrown, so it's really down to how much that affects your immersion. Overall, it's a creative way to use potions, not just for dealing damage, but also for healing or buffing followers. Just be careful you don't accidentally help the enemies you're trying to take down. Next, we've got something simpler, with Alchemical Appraisal services. This mod basically lets you ask any trained alchemist to identify the effects on your ingredients for a small fee, reinforcing the idea that the alchemists actually know their craft, rather than just handing you pre-made potions. You'll see a new dialogue option when you speak to them. Can you identify the properties of these ingredients? And from there, you can hand over whatever you want analysed. Pricing is worked out dynamically at about 15 gold per unknown effect, so a full breakdown of a 4 effect ingredient lands you at around 60 gold. You'll never charge for effects you already know, which avoids wasting septims on things you've discovered yourself. And the gold you pay actually ends up in the Alchemist inventory, so if you ever want to lean into your thief side, you can just take it back. It's a small touch, but it helps transition alchemy into something you can actually learn from experts, and not just increase your skill bar without providing any real value. Moving on, we have ElSopa Potions Redone, a complete reimagining of how Skyrim's potions and poisons look in-game. Every single model has been rebuilt from scratch, with 26 unique meshes, covering everything from your everyday healing potions to the rarer elixirs. They're also surprisingly performance friendly. The models use roughly half the poly count of other popular potion overhauls, which basically just means they rely on fewer 3D details while still looking great, so you get the visual upgrade without taking a hit to your frame rate. And while ElSopa's overhaul stands perfectly on its own, you can push the visuals even further with a separate add-on that gives every potion a swirling, animated liquid inside the bottle. The animations are surprisingly flawless too, and really give off that magical vibe, a vast improvement from the vanilla game. I think it's always good to include some visual upgrades when making these types of videos, instead of focusing solely on new content or mechanics, and this mod is my favourite when it comes to making Skyrim's potions look a whole lot nicer. And to really complete the Alchemist experience, we've got a couple smaller additions that bring in a lot of personality and style. First is the Alchemist Vestments, a custom outfit that makes you look the part while adventuring through Skyrim's wilderness. Each piece of this outfit has been carefully crafted from a mashup of existing armor, all recolored and decorated to feel unique and actually fitting for an alchemist. Everything is craftable at a tanning rack, with the potential to temper it for an extra bit of protection. If you want to obtain the armor in a slightly more immersive way, there's even an optional patch that has the set on a dead alchemist over at Clearpine Pond, complete with a note to give you some context. Finally, if you're the type to want a cozy base of operations, then consider checking out Alchemist Cabin, a newer player home that introduces a fresh spot to wind down right outside of Riverwood. It's packed with all the essentials, an alchemy table, pots for cooking, harvestable plants, and some lovely outdoor decorations. Whilst it's not the grandest place to live by any means, I do think it fits the aesthetic quite well. It's compatible with a bunch of Riverwood overhauls already, and is nav mesh for followers, so it should slot in nicely into your setup. Both of these mods can help make you feel like a real part of Skyrim's world. You've now got some fitting gear and a place to call home whilst you experiment away with all your new potions and ingredients. So there you have it, 7 incredible mods that will reshape your experience as an alchemist in Skyrim. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.